Hi everyone! In this video, I'm going to be talking about why you don't need to seek revenge on people who have done you dirty. And before you get all pissed off at me, because I can be a very vengeful person, but I want to talk about, and I wanted to make this video for the moments when you're tempted to match someone's chaos and bullshit, for when your peace and kindness might have been mistaken for weakness, and for when you just need the reminder that not seeking revenge, it doesn't make you passive and it does not make you a pushover, it actually makes you powerful. But I do want to start with reminding you that there is a difference between standing your ground, choosing your battles, and losing yourself in revenge. One comes from power, the other comes from pain, and I don't want you to get caught up in that. So not seeking revenge does not by any means mean that you let people walk all over you. You can choose peace without choosing to be passive or a pushover. Standing up for yourself or protecting someone you love isn't vengeance, it's self-respect. You can hold boundaries firmly and still keep your heart clean is always the energy behind the actions. Letting go of revenge, it doesn't make you weak. Let's not get that twisted at all. It does not make you weak, but it does mean that you're strong enough to not lose yourself in trying to get even. But don't mistake peace with silence. You know, you still have every right to speak up, to defend yourself, to defend those you love, and make it clear that you won't be disrespected. Choosing not to retaliate, it doesn't mean that you stay quiet. It means that you rise above while still standing your ground. You protect your peace and your power. And like I said, am I someone who is so loving and I don't care what others do to me and I just let it go? No, am I fuck? Am I fuck? I can be, like I said, a very, very, very vengeful person. And I can drag someone to the depths of hell if I am pushed and if it's warranted, or if I'm protecting someone that I love. However, I do calm myself down and I do pick my battles, and I don't seek revenge or activate bastard mode in every scenario. So I want to show you the difference, and also when you do want to get even with someone, and sometimes it's not in your best interest, I just want to share this as well for those moments, because I know this is something I needed. So I had this client about a year ago, and she didn't get the attention she wanted from me. She was begging for discounts, begging for all sorts. She just wanted to be up my ass 24/7. She was just a desperate person with a disgusting energy. Anyway, I didn't want to work with her for that reason, and I didn't want to coach her because I just knew she was a trouble causer and she was just obsessed with some poor man, and I didn't really want to be in that energy. So I refunded her. However, she then thought that she was entitled to more and she wanted to be spiteful because she was rejected. So she basically stole more money from me. And this person was a nurse. So I share this to give you an example of why you don't need to take revenge, and, you know, sometimes you might want to. So she was a nurse, and one of my friends told me that I should show the evidence of the transactions and interactions and report her for theft to her workplace. And I could have. You know, if she was stealing money from me, God knows what else she's stealing. And I also had some friends wanting to deal with it in a different way, but I didn't do either of those things. I was very, very tempted, but instead I just went on with my life. I'm a big believer that when someone tries to take from you or steal from you, God, the universe, your soul, it's going to bring that thing right back to you. Maybe not in the same form, but that energy is going to come back. You know, whether it's money, the money's going to come back. Whatever was taken from you, it's going to return. And that's exactly what happened. You know, it was brought back to me tenfold. Whenever someone's done me dirty, I just keep focusing on myself, shifting myself, healing myself, growing and evolving as a person. And I've become the person that I want to be as a result of that. I didn't need to seek revenge on people that have done me so dirty. I just moved on with my life, and the revenge was that these people lost access to me and they're still living their rock bottom lives. You know, they haven't changed from when they did me dirty. And I share that with you, like I said, because I want to explain why you shouldn't seek revenge, and I'm going to talk about when to pick your battles at the end of the video, so I hope you stick around for that. But first, I'm going to give you a few different reasons. So first, let's be real about the people you're dealing with. The people that make you feel like you need to seek revenge so you can, you know, so they can take you down or project all their shit onto you. I lost my train of thought then because this is how vengeful I can be. My mind was thinking about the revenge I would take on people, but I'm trying to show you why you shouldn't. So let's go back to the first point. Let's be real about the people you're dealing with. So you have to realize that you're better than them, and this isn't about a power play. This is about seeing that some people can only operate in their lives by siphoning other people's energy to get somewhere and feel better about themselves. And they often hate themselves so much that they need some kind of reaction from someone else, and they just need someone's attention. So any attention, whether it's trouble causing, whatever it is, it's still attention to them. They're energy vampires, they're wounded people, they're victim mindset people, they're entitled people. And are you one of them? No, you're better than that. So we do not need to stoop to their level. These people need to feed off you to feel alive because they're so empty inside. You know, they don't know how to connect to their own light, to their own soul. So instead, they have to try and take energy from other people. They see that others have something that they want, whether it's physically or just energetically, or they just see someone's light and they go and try and feed off it. That's also why narcissists and gaslighters and manipulators will often go for people who are compassionate and empathetic. You have to realize too that, and this is something I learned, and it's not always an easy lesson, and this is why it's important you have good friends around you, because, you know, I made a video about friendships and why you need good people in your life, because you have to realize that the more you shine your light, the more you become the person you're meant to be, the more powerful you become by connecting to your soul. That's going to threaten and intimidate a lot of people. Unfortunately, there are people who are out there who just want to hate on others. You know, they hate themselves so much that they want to see the downfall of others. They want to take from others because they're leading a miserable little life. And if you seek revenge on every single person who's trying to pull you down to their level, you're wasting your precious time and energy. If I sat and held on to and talked about every time in my life someone has tried to do me dirty, I'd be sat here till I'm old and grey, and then what? I've just become as bitter as them. So the second reason you don't want to take revenge is that the best revenge is creating a better life for yourself. And this isn't about bypassing, this isn't about avoiding, this isn't about just, you know, overlooking what people have said and done to you. But the best revenge is showing these people that they did not do shit to you. They could not affect you. They could not bring you down. They couldn't ruin you. They couldn't keep you stuck like them. They couldn't keep you on their level. And they can't touch you. You know, you vibrate so much out of their reality, and that's what pisses them off the most, that their absence and their attempts did not do shit to you. Do you know how painful that is for these types of people? It's the thing that destroys them the most. And if you're constantly wasting your time and your energy thinking, I should do this to them, I should do that to them, I need to seek revenge on them, I need to get back at them, and you let your emotions run the show, you're going to make yourself just as stuck as them. So stop holding on to things that people have done and trust that they will get theirs. You know, you don't need to orchestrate that. Sometimes you're the tipping point for the universe to fuck them up. And by that, I mean give them back their own energy, and that's punishment enough, because the universe will just reflect what you've given out. So if they experience themselves, that is the worst punishment possible. So we want to let the universe handle that. If you just move on and allow that person to live their miserable little life, and that doesn't mean be a pushover and just take shit from people, more on that later, but if you move through life knowing that God has your back, the universe has your back, your soul has your back, whatever resonates for you, and you don't engage with their energy, and you know that what they've put out will come back to them tenfold, you'll see how fast these people start to collapse. So the third reason is, if you seek revenge, you actually have to lower yourself down to be on their level. You know, people who are deliberately trying to pull you down, harass you, steal from you, bully you, pray for your downfall, try and tear you down, whatever it is, people who have to do that, what kind of energy do you think they're in? Like, let's just be real for a minute. What kind of level do you think they're operating from? Their vibrational level is so low. If I showed you how low, I wouldn't be able to get it on camera. So, you know, it's very, very low. And anyone who's trying to tear you down is already below you. And again, this isn't about a power play, this is just recognizing how these people operate so you don't waste your time and energy getting involved in their shit show. When they see something in you that threatens them, or you have something they want, or they just don't get access to you, they'll try and pull you down to their level. You trigger them, your light threatens their shadow. So with these people, for you to seek revenge and do to them what they did to you, you need to lower yourself all the way down to get on their level. You have to ask yourself, are you willing to sacrifice your own peace and drop yourself all the way down to their level just to get even? Because what does that really get you? Their karma is their life. They have to live with themselves. They have to live with that bitter, miserable heart and live with that lack energy and that lack mindset. They put lack out into the world, so their whole world is filled with it. And they're so full of self-hate and shame within their own lives that they have to go out of their way to try and tear you down. Why are you giving your energy to these people? When you have to drop your energy to match their frequency, now you're in that frequency too, and that's not a fun place to be. It takes you out of the frequency that you were operating in, which was much higher from theirs, because if they're trying to tear you down in the first place, it's because they see you as above them in some way. And again, this isn't about a power play. This is about seeing that you vibrate in a different reality than they do. And if you drop yourself down to their level, now you're just in their rock bottom world. And that's going to just make you feel even more shit, because now you're so far, put the other person aside, you're now so far out of alignment with who you truly are and where you are operating from that you then feel shit, and you're better than that. You know, it's not worth your time. So the fourth reason, and the fourth point I want to touch on, is start believing in yourself. So sometimes when people do us dirty, we can momentarily lose ourselves. It can knock us. We can be filled with such rage and anger and this vengeance that it can knock us, because we don't have the same heart as them, so we don't understand their motives. But start believing in yourself, focus on you. These people will feel the absence of you. You know, they don't get to access you anymore. If you're so important to them that they have to go out of their way to try and tear you down, to try and hurt you, to try and pull you down to their level, then you're clearly a focus for this person that they would put their time and their energy into trying to affect you. So give them something to focus on by being the best version of yourself. By the way, if I'm looking up and down, I've said in my other videos, but I don't know which order I'm going to release these in. I'm recording on 2 different devices, so I'll be kind of up and down. Anyway, but do you know how painful it is for people to feel the absence of you and know that they can't access you anymore? That's the most painful thing to them. And for you to only get better and better and better, and they're not a part of that, that is the most painful thing for these people, because they have such fragile egos for them to be operating that way in the first place. So in a situation where someone has done you dirty, you need to take your power back and call your energy back to you. They don't deserve to have any access to your energy, none. Call it back now, do it. And you can do this just by setting an intention. I've got a video about protecting your energy, so some of the things in there might help as well. But all your frustration, your anger, your hurt, whatever it is, it's kind of going everywhere at the minute because you've got involved in their shit show. And that's not a judgment, because it happens. But you need to call this energy back to you. Take all that energy and then use it as fuel for yourself. Use it as fuel to better yourself. Anger has such a bad reputation, but it can be the most powerful and transformative energy. You can take all that anger and turn it into sacred rage and use it to better yourself. And if you want a video about sacred rage, I can do that because it's a really fun and interesting topic. But every time someone has done me dirty, I've leveled up because I take all that anger, all that rage, and I use it to fuel myself. And then the revenge is that they have to watch that and know how much that pisses them off and know how much they can't be a part of that. And that is very, very satisfying to me. You know, they have to watch you up level based on what they have tried to do to you. So call your power back. Like I've said, I've got other videos that might help. And at the end of my video about protecting your energy, there are some practical tips on managing your energy. But for the purpose of this video, speak out loud that you call your power back. Just set an intention. I was going to say visualize, and I thought I'd go with intention first, but set an intention that you're calling all your power back and you're removing it from that person or situation. Visualize your energy coming back to you. So the fifth thing I want to talk about is stop talking about these people and making them a part of your reality. This kind of ties in with the pulling your energy back. They don't deserve that. Of course, you want to reflect on anything that might have triggered within you and take accountability for how you feel as a result, not for them, not for their bullshit, but how you feel as a result. And you want to use it as an opportunity to grow and shift. But when it comes to talking about the person and the situation, stop giving it your energy. You're just keeping that energy active. Protect your energy, for you to get bigger and better and for you to achieve the things that you want to achieve and for you to become the person that you want to be, your energy needs to be with you. Your energy is sacred, and I'm going to need you to start treating it that way because it really is, and these people don't deserve it. So the sixth thing I want to talk about is look for the lesson to make you better and trust that things, they don't happen for no reason. Let these people be. They're not your concern. Give them to God, your soul, the universe. Again, whatever resonates, whatever and whoever you believe in, whether it's a different energy, whatever it is, give these people to them and it's handled for you. Wipe your hands from these people because you don't need to be touching shit anymore. Understand too that it's probably not our job to be seeking revenge and creating more weird energy for ourselves. It's not our job because in my experience, I've had opportunities to get revenge on people who have wronged me, and what I had planned for them, that was nothing in compared to what the universe actually did to them, because sometimes we can't see the full picture. Sometimes we don't know the depth of that person's energy. We don't know their real pain points and triggers, but we don't know how truly, just gross and low their energy really is. And sometimes it's better to let the universe deliver their karma because the universe sees all of that, God sees all of that, their soul sees all of that. And this isn't about, even for this person, this isn't about punishment, but your soul and the universe is going to reflect what you're putting back, what you're putting into the world. It's going to bring it back to you. So if someone is sending out bad energy, the best thing we can do is step back because that's just going to come boomeranging back to them. And again, it's not even about punishment. It's about meeting yourself and having your own energy reflected back to you. And like I said, we don't know the depths of these people's energies and, their real pain points. Suffering and being done dirty is actually an opportunity to be your biggest teacher. Once you get past the anger and all the emotions that come from the experience. Anytime I've experienced some bullshit or gone through something horrible or been treated badly, I know that I'm going to come out even better and stronger because I look at where it triggered me. I take accountability. I look at how that thing or person even came into my life, like what part of me allowed them in. And again, not in a self-blame and taking it on myself and saying, this is your fault, this happened because of this, this and this, but just being accountable, looking at those energetic access points, and then we get to close them off and lock them off for good. And all that really does is it raises my vibration even higher, and then that gets reflected into my 3D reality. So really this person just did you a favor, or these people, whoever it is, whatever situation, this person, these people, they've all collectively done you a favor because thanks to them, you took the shit that they threw at you, you turned it into gold, and now you're even more out of their vibrational league, and that just makes them even more mad because their intention was to keep you down, but you just got bigger and bigger and bigger and better, and that's the biggest form of revenge. So the seventh thing I want to talk about is know when it's time to let go. So take your lessons from these people, take your lessons from these situations and move on. Look at what you've learned, look at what it reflected to you, look at where it might have really stung or triggered you, and look at how you can use this opportunity to lean into your intuition and discernment more, because you get to choose to become stronger. When you go through trauma or people do you dirty, you can either choose to let it keep you down, or you can choose to become better in spite of it. People always tell me that I'm so strong because of my life experiences, but I chose to become strong because of it, because I could still be sat crying about it. I could have let life break me, but I chose to become stronger because of it. And I want you all to choose that too, to take your power back and know that these situations and people that intended to destroy you couldn't break you. So yeah, I'm gonna need you to work on that and don't let me down. So the 8th point is do not fear these people. So this is something I see often with people who they've been wronged or, you know, whatever the situation is, they're scared of what the other person is gonna do. But people being fearless, it gives people power over you. And when people are on, and I just want to make clear as well that if you've just been a little shit and trying to cause shit for people, then yeah, maybe you should be scared of what's going to come back because you're going to push the wrong one at some point. But if you've been wronged, don't be scared of what these people who are trying to tear you down are going to do, because often they will try and threaten you or hold something over you or try to create some bullshit. Like I've had that in my life as well. And I tell them, do it, you know, go for it, do your best, because don't be scared of these people, don't give them your power. If your heart and intentions are pure, you are protected. Nobody outside of your soul gets to decide your fate. So if people are acting from a spiteful place, you know, if they're acting from a malicious place, if they're acting from this low vibrational place, they're just creating more shit for themselves and you're very protected. You know, I actually love watching when someone tries to pull some shit on me and it comes back and slaps them in the face. Like, it's so satisfying to me. So I now want to talk about the difference between protecting yourself and seeking revenge. So those are the reasons why I would recommend not seeking revenge. And of course, I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. So, you know, do what you want, but that's why I would recommend not taking revenge and, you know, just why you should let the universe handle it. But I do want to talk about protecting yourself versus seeking revenge. So protecting yourself or protecting someone you love, that comes from love and it comes from alignment with your truth. It's not about proving yourself or acting out of spite. It's more from a place of, I'm going to stand between harm and the thing that I love. I'm going to hold respect for the thing that I love. Revenge, on the other hand, it comes from hurt, it comes from fear, it comes from egoic justice. It's about trying to make someone feel the pain that they cause from an emotional state. It looks outward, it looks to punish and even the scales and take that into your own hands instead of looking inward and protecting your own energy and picking your battles. Revenge seeks satisfaction through control. Revenge is more from the place of, you made me feel powerless, so I'm going to take my power back through your suffering. It's still very much tied to the other person, and it just keeps you on their level. And as we've spoken about, we don't want to be there. But you want to take your energy back from a place of self-love and from trust in the universe, and from a place of trusting that God sees everything and karma is a very real thing, and the scales will always be balanced out. You have to believe that you're protected. You have to believe you've got, you know, an army behind you energetically. And I'm a firm believer that God will put you right back together in front of the people who broke you. And, you know, I really do trust that karma will run its course. And if you don't believe in God, that's fine, you know, just put in whichever word you resonate with. But I also think a lot of people get shit and get judgment when they protect themselves, or when they stand their ground, because people confuse it with seeking revenge, and there's a big difference. You know, I'm a big advocate for that warrior within, because sometimes she or he needs to come out and this is your permission. For me personally, when it comes to protecting myself and protecting those I love, the intention is very different. I choose my battles wisely, and it's not from a place of revenge and a place of spite, but from Mother Bear being activated just like that. Mother Bear mode, it comes on just like that. And it's more with a focus of protecting the ones that I love. It's more a focus on them versus my focus being on the person doing the harm and trying to get even. So there's a different energy underneath. However, with that being said, I fully own this, and I'll be honest. If you do fuck with someone that I love, I do take pleasure in hitting below the belt, because if you're gonna go low, I can go lower. You know, we're going all the way down to hell. And I'm not walking away, I'm doubling down with no clock out time. And the best part is the guilt-free factor. And I know a lot of you don't take shit from people, and I know a lot of you get shit from standing your ground and get accused of seeking revenge. So I just wanted to make a clear distinction between the two, because there is one. And you know, I shouldn't enjoy it, but I do, because my conscience is clear. You know, because like I said, I'm a firm believer of protecting those that I love, especially those who are vulnerable souls. If any of you know me, you know that I will go to war over an animal, especially if it's one of my own. Like I said, the mother bear warrior spirit, it comes online quick time. And I never start shit, but I do end it. And I know that a lot of people who resonate with me feel the same way. But it's always when it's warranted. You know, it's not about going out there and just starting shit for no reason. There's a big difference in seeking revenge and protecting yourself and those you love. So at the end of the day, revenge isn't the point. Standing in your own power is. So pick your battles like the warrior that you are, with clarity, with precision, with intention, not from emotion, not from chaos, and not from lowering yourself to get on someone else's level. You know, protect your peace, protect the ones that you love, but don't trade your vibration for the person's vibration who has done you wrong, because then they just drag you down to their level and then they beat you with experience, because people who try and tear you down, they're usually experienced in it because they live in that energetic state. But you're better than that. So let them live in their own bitterness while you get bigger, while you get better, while you get more free. And they will most likely stay stuck where they are. That's the real win. And they have to watch and watch how you grow and evolve, and how you keep shining your light, and how you keep bringing things in which are, you know, things that they actually desire, but instead of working on themselves, they want to take it from you. You get to work on that, and you get to bring all this stuff in, and you get to live your best life and be the best version of yourself, and they have to watch that. And that's the most painful thing for them. And if you ask me, that is the best revenge of all. So yeah, I hope this has helped. I know that a lot of people kind of approach revenge from this love and light perspective, where it's like, okay, it's not their fault, they don't know, I wish them well, but I'm just here to be real with you and be honest and be authentic. And there is a big difference between protecting yourself and not taking revenge. So ultimately, I want you guys to protect your own energy and also not take shit from people. So I hope this has helped. I hope maybe you've learned something. I hope if any of you are in a place where you're wanting to seek revenge or someone's done you wrong, I hope that it could bring you some comfort and calm you down maybe. But yeah, hope it's helped, and I'll see you all in the next video.